The man with the black belt pointed to the janitor and smirked. "Hey, you with the mop. Want to show us what you've got?" His voice echoed across the martial arts studio, filled with mocking confidence. Derek Mitchell stood in the center of the mat, his black belt tied neatly, his tone loud enough to draw every eye in the room. "Bet you've never been in a real fight, right?" James Washington paused mid-scrub and looked up slowly. He had only been working at that gym for a few weeks, always cleaning after hours. But tonight, the advanced class had run a little late. "I'm just finishing up." "Didn't mean to interrupt your session," James said, his tone quiet but steady. Derek laughed, a theatrical, attention-seeking laugh. "Everyone, look at this guy. Scared to even step on the mat. Come on, just a little demonstration." Nervous laughter spread among the 8 students, some uncomfortable, others clearly amused. What no one knew was that James had once lived a life very different from the one they saw now. A life he had buried long ago. 20 years ago, he had vanished from the world of fighting after a tragedy that changed everything. "I'm serious," Derek continued, walking closer. "You probably don't even know how to stand in a guard, huh? Show them what a floor scrubber looks like against a real martial artist." James felt something stir inside, something he had tried to silence for decades. He looked up at Derek, meeting his eyes. Derek hesitated for a moment, something about the look gave him pause. Still, he pushed forward, "Just a demonstration. Nothing serious. Educational, even." James set the bucket aside and stood up. There was something about the way he moved, too fluid, too balanced, to match Derek's assumption. Around the gym, students began to stop what they were doing. Something was changing. "Fine," James said. "But when this is over, I expect you to apologize to everyone here for turning this mat into a joke." Derek chuckled, trying to shake off the odd feeling building in his chest. "You'll be the one apologizing, to the floor." What none of them knew was that James used to go by another name, Silent Storm. He had been a 5-time world MMA champion before walking away from it all. He left after the accident that took the life of his closest friend and sparring partner. Since then, he had lived quietly, his past a secret from everyone, including his daughter. "Let's do this," Derek said, adjusting his belt as he called the students around. "Time to show what separates fighters from cleaners." As the circle formed, James stood calmly, breathing steady, unmoved. Derek, trying to rile him up, threw another insult. "This gym isn't for people like you." That struck a chord. It wasn't the first time James had heard those words. But unlike before, he didn't let the anger control him. He had learned long ago how to channel it into something far more powerful. "Sensei," a young student, Sarah Chun, interrupted. "Maybe we should just continue with regular training." Derek snapped at her. "Are you questioning how I run my class?" James saw the fear in her eyes, an all too familiar look. She reminded him of his younger sister, Kesha. She had the same fire, the same courage. He had lost her years ago to violence back home. Another person gone while he chased victories. "So, Janitor," Derek sneered again, "you gonna show us something, or just stand there pretending to be tough?" James remained still. His eyes closed for a second, the past flooding back. He remembered the fight in Vegas. The insults. The pressure. The accident. Derek pushed him lightly on the shoulder, smug. But James didn't budge. His stance was unshakable. Like trying to move a mountain. "Interesting," James whispered. Derek kept talking, unaware of what he was waking up. He saw no threat, just a man with a mop and quiet eyes. Sarah tried once more to speak up. "Why do you feel the need to humiliate someone doing his job?" "This isn't about race," Derek snapped. "It's about respect." James opened his eyes. He remembered why he had stepped away. The pain, the guilt, the anger. But he also remembered the strength that came with standing up, not for himself, but for others. He took a step forward. Subtle, calm, but deliberate. The atmosphere shifted. Derek's students noticed. A black belt backing away from a janitor? No one laughed now. Last chance, James said. Apologize to her. To them. To yourself. Derek refused. You're going to regret this. He lunged forward with a jab, clean, fast, by the book. But James wasn't there. His body had already moved like flowing water. Derek's arm met nothing. Nice form, James said gently. But you lead with your shoulder. Easy to read. Derek spun in frustration. James was already recentered, calm and focused. Derek attacked again, but every strike was met with graceful evasion. He was fighting a ghost, untouchable, effortless, controlled. Sarah stood frozen. She'd watched legends on film, studied them for years, but now she was seeing one with her own eyes. James gave Derek every chance. But with each failed strike, each display of control, it became clear, this wasn't a janitor. This was a master, hidden in plain sight, revealing his truth not with anger, but precision and peace. Derek finally collapsed from exhaustion, not a single mark on James. Silence filled the gym. James looked around. This is what martial arts should be. Not humiliation, but respect. And without another word, he picked up his bucket and mop and walked out, his past no longer a weight, but a part of his strength. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to Kindness Tales, where every story brings you hope, compassion, and the power of kindness.